Good morning, students. You have reached the classes of costing and taxation, and we were doing the chapter income from house property. In the last class, we had learned that how interest on loan and pre-acquisition or pre-construction interest, we had learned that the deduction to be allowed for pre-acquisition interest shall be one-fifth of the total interest that has been paid before the construction was completed. So we'll be doing more examples, more illustration on this topic afterwards also. So no need to worry if your concept is not clear. So in today's class, we'll start with the fourth category, that is self-occupied or non-occupied due to employment elsewhere. Now self-occupied or non-occupied are related over here because rent is not received in both the cases. No rent is received at all. Non-occupied due to employment elsewhere means, suppose I have a house property in Kolkata, but my company has offered me job in Chennai or Pune, so I have to go and work there. So the house property in Kolkata shall remain non-occupied, so that house property shall come under category 4. Now, how to calculate income from house property under this category? First of all, there is no income from house property in category 4, always remember, because the house property is self or non-occupied and no rent is being received. So if the house income from house property is to be calculated, you can be sure that that income will be loss. Now how? I'm going to tell you. First of all, we start our sums with the calculation of gross annual value, right? However, in case of self-occupied property, the gross annual value shall be zero. It shall be nil. Okay, whatever information is given in the sums, they will give you municipal value, they'll give you fair rent and standard rent. You don't have to calculate the expected rent or the gross annual value, because the gross annual value shall be zero, it shall be nil. Next, after gross annual value we deduct municipal taxes, but in case of self-occupied, municipal taxes shall not be deducted. Even if the owner has paid municipal taxes, still we will not deduct municipal taxes because the gross annual value is nil. Last comes the standard deduction under section 24. So we know that there are two deductions. First one is 30% deduction under 24A and interest on loan under 24B. So interest on loan is the only deduction that is allowed in case of self-occupied property. Rest any other deductions or expenses are not allowed. 30% standard deduction is not allowed because the net annual value is zero. So whenever you start your problem with for self-occupied property, you can start your sums from net annual value, because before that gross annual value is zero, municipal tax is zero, so net annual value will also be zero. Lastly, only what will be deducted? Interest on loan shall be deducted if the owner of the house property has taken a loan for construction, purchase, renewal or repair, then the interest on loan shall be allowed as deduction. However, there are certain restrictions on interest on loan. However, there is a limit to the deduction. You can get a maximum reduction of 2 lakhs if the loan has been taken for construction or acquisition. Listen again. If the owner of the house property has taken the loan for construction or acquisition and he pays interest on that loan, then the maximum interest to be allowed as deduction is 2 lakh. Suppose the total loan taken is 30 lakhs. Right, let me show you. Suppose the total loan taken is 30 lakhs. Interest is equal to 30%. So for the whole year, the interest paid by the owner shall be 3 lakhs. However, this shall be limited to only 2 lakhs only, and the owner will not get the deduction for the rest of the money. He will get a deduction only for 2 lakh rupees and not for 3 lakh rupees. If the loan taken was 70 lakh or 50 lakh, still it would not make a difference. The deduction amount would be restricted to 2 lakhs. However, if the loan is not taken for construction or acquisition, the loan is just taken for repair or renewal, then the maximum deduction allowed is 30,000. Suppose the loan has been taken for renovation of the house and the owner of the house property is paying interest on the loan, then the maximum deduction to be allowed is 30,000. Same thing, same logic over here. Suppose the loan taken for repair. Suppose the loan taken for repair is 4 lakhs. Interest rate 10%. So the total interest paid by the assessee is 40,000, but this shall be limited to 30,000. Acha, if the loan taken was 2 lakhs, right? If the loan taken was 2 lakh and the assessee is paying an interest of 20%, sorry, the assessee is paying an interest of 10%, then the total interest being paid is 20,000, so he will be allowed a deduction of 20,000, not 30,000. No, 30,000 is applicable if the interest paid by him is more than the minimum amount, sorry, maximum amount. If he is paying less than 30,000, then less than 30,000 will be allowed as deduction. 20,000 only will be allowed as deduction. Okay. So this was it. Let's do a small example on this. Mr. X has purchased a residential house for his own residence on 1/7/19 by taking a loan of 60 lakhs. They'll give you all the details in the world so that you use it over here, but you don't have to use any of the detail except only one thing. Okay, so Mr. X took a loan of rupees 60 lakhs and purchased the house. The municipal value of the house is 20 lakhs. Municipal tax paid is 2 lakh. Repair expenses is 5 lakh. Okay, he has incurred expenses on repair. So what did I teach you? That whatever repair expenses the assessee incurs, it will not be allowed as deduction. Only 30% of the net annual value is allowed as deduction. So in this case, we'll allow 30%, right? Wrong. If someone said yes, then he's wrong or she is wrong, because the net annual value is 0. So how will you derive 30% from 0? 30% of 0 is 0. So standard deduction of 30% will not be allowed. Repair expenses will not be considered. The only thing that will be considered is interest on loan, 10%. So I have started from gross annual value. you can start from net annual value. So the gross annual value is nil. Municipal taxes is nil. Net annual value is nil. Now standard deduction will not be allowed anything because it is 30% of net annual value, and net 30% of 0 is 0. Now interest on loan. Now see, he took the loan of 60 lakhs. Interest on loan is 10%, right? We calculate the loan, we calculate the interest on the loan amount taken, not on the municipal value, right? It's clearly written over here that he took a loan of 60 lakhs. So 60 lakhs into 10%, 6 lakh. So but the interest on loan shall be limited to how much? Only 2 lakhs. 2 lakhs. Now understand this very carefully. If this was any house of a house of any other category, means except category 4, means if it was not self occupied, means if it was let out, if it was given for rent. Now if it was given for rent, then there is no limit for interest on loan, right? If it was given for let out, then the total interest allowed as deduction would be 6 lakhs. 60 lakhs into 10%, 6 lakhs. When? If the house was given for let out to any other person. But since the house is not given to let out, it is self occupied, then the interest on loan is limited to 2 lakhs. Okay, this rule is only and only applicable for self occupied property. Okay. Now in the next class we'll be starting with a new topic which is very important theory wise, as well as some practical sums come in your exam, that is deemed ownership. Now just let me give you an introduction on deemed ownership. What happens, I in the in if any one of you remembers the uh, most important rules that I taught to you in the first class of house property was that there must be a building, the assessee must be the owner of the house property. He must be the owner of the house. So house property says if you are a owner of a building, then income from house property shall be chargeable under you. It says that if there is a building and it has been given on rent, then the income for house property will be taken from the, means the tax will be taken from the person whoever is the owner of the house property. So what people have done, people started playing games with the income tax offices, authorities. They transferred their property to someone else. When the tax officer came to ask for tax, then the assessee says that, sir, for income to be chargeable under income from house property, that is, in order to pay tax under income from house property, I should be the owner of the property. But I am not the owner of the property. My wife or my children are the owner of my property. So why will I pay tax? Now, income tax officer, it puts him in a situation, difficult situation. So for that purpose, they have come up with a section, deemed ownership, which is written in section 27. It says that even if you are not the owner of the house property, if you are receiving rent, then then you will have to pay tax under income from house property. It says that even if you are not the legal owner, you shall be regarded as the deemed owner. Okay, what happens, many people, they transfer their house property in the name of their wife or in the name of their children, and they become the legal owner of the house property. However, the deemed owner is the husband or the father. However, they do not show, they show that the income is being received by their wife or their husband or their son, right? So in for the purpose of this, the income tax property has come up with certain rules and regulations that if transfer is made to these persons which we'll discuss tomorrow, the deemed owner with the transferor, the deemed owner shall be regarded as the owner of the house property, and he shall only have to pay tax. So I hope you have understood that what is a deemed owner. We'll study again tomorrow, but I just had to give you an idea that what is deemed owner. Like, people transfer their house property to hide their income, and the income tax rules, they again catch the transferor. They say, no, you are the owner, you shall pay the tax. Now, why do people do this? Like, suppose if I am a businessman, I have many sources of income, one of which is income from house property. So what do? I have transferred my house property to my wife. Now my wife has no income. Now I have an income of 10 lakhs, suppose, inshallah. I have an income of 10 lakhs per month, and my wife has zero income, right? So what happens if I'm hiding my income shall be 10 lakhs. If I'm showing my income from house property, my income becomes 15 lakhs. So I'll have to pay the tax on 15 lakhs total amount. However, if I transfer my house property to my wife, her only income is 5 lakh. So if you see the income tax rules, up to 2,50,000, the tax rate is nil. Above that, she'll have to pay tax. So if I transfer my house property to her, what will happen? She'll pay tax, but she'll pay very less tax than I will pay. So this is why they transfer the house property to their spouse or children, so that they can save tax. But the income tax rules, they came up with another rule that even if you have transferred the house property, even if you are not the legal owner of the house property, you are receiving rent, so you are the deemed owner of the house property. Okay, so we'll discuss it tomorrow, and this is a small homework. So please send it to me on my email account.